diagnosis of schizophrenia or hallucinations can be caused by early childhood trauma. I don't know if there's genetic factors or whatever mixed in, but my first hallucinations were around the time of my first trauma. And my first hallucinations, as I don't know exactly how old I was, but I can remember distinctly watching Sesame Street and going into the bathroom to poop and having Ernie, Bert, and Big Bird barge in the bathroom door. And from then on, I always kept the bathroom door locked. My first hallucinations were actually more visual and auditory, but they were happened more when I was alone, and they still do happen more when I'm alone. But my first auditory hallucinations that were many, many voices came in about the 3rd grade when I was switching schools. It was a highly stressful time for me because I didn't know what to expect, and I didn't know any of the kids in my new school. And so I was in the 3rd grade waiting to get into school on the first day, and I was talking to my hallucinations, my voices. And they were saying things to me, and I was saying things back to them, and I suddenly became aware of this sort of calm that was around me with the kids all staring at me and talking about me, and there was just sort of this reverberation of, oh my God, what is she doing? You know, she's talking to herself. She's talking to herself. The new girl's talking to herself. And from then on, I was pretty much ostracized in public school. One of the things that helped me through that was, first of all, learning by the time I got into the classroom, I had learned that not only do you not talk to voices in your head, but that you can talk to your voices in your head. So I learned how to think my voice to talk to my voices that I was hearing. And that didn't really help me at that point, but it helped me a lot when I got asked to leave the public school system in high school, because it was mutually beneficial. The school didn't have anything to offer me, and I didn't have anything to offer anyone in the school because I was ostracized. So I did have a slight bit of success, though, with cross country. I still didn't have any friends. Even the geeks had friends, but I was not that cool to be a geek, considered a geek. Because I was asked to leave the public school system, kind of like getting kicked out, that was a cool thing. And to add to that, I had to cover for my hallucinations still, so I told everyone that I had smoked pot since I was 6 years old, and that I was all done with that phase of my life now, but that it really messed with my mind. It messed my head up. So those two things combined made me very socially acceptable in high school, and it made a lot of friends, pretty much the whole class of 30 people. Academically, I became successful because they put me in advanced classes. When I got out of high school, I was still having a lot of problems with trauma in my life, and decided to pick up and put everything in a bag that was important to me and throw it in the trunk of somebody's car and move to Minneapolis. So Minneapolis, eventually I got a job, eventually, you know, lived with homelessness and couch surfing and different things, and eventually I got a job, and then I got another job, and then I got another job, and then I got another job, and my grandma died. So I went home for the funeral, because by then I could afford to go home for the funeral. I think I flew, if I remember right. Anyway, either the night before or the night after the funeral, my dead grandma appeared to me while I was out in the woods in the moonlight. It was a full moon, and she appeared to me out of the sky and kind of floating there, and asked me just one question: why did you plant your feet so far from home? And I didn't really think about this too much, other than it really freaked me out. So what I did was after the funeral, I went back to Minneapolis, gave months' notice at my jobs, and moved directly back to Rapid City, where I now reside in South Dakota. And I got a husband that's very supportive and wonderful, and two beautiful kids out of the gig. So I'm very happy to be a story of hope, I hope, for people. No matter what obstacles are put in front of you in your life, you can look to them for the opportunity that they bring. And that no matter how bad things get, the struggle is always worth the end result.